With hoses and hand shovels, firefighters make a stand against the rim fire along Highway 120, about 30 miles outside of Yosemite National Park. 5 days after it started, the rim fire has already jumped back and forth across this road several times, but this is still one of the best lines of defense against a fire that's growing in all directions.
How are the winds?
Shifty, very shifty. They're coming out of the north, out of the south, blowing all directions.
Choking smoke surrounds the firefighter. It turns the sun above blood red. Firefighters let the fire burn along the ground, but jump on it every time it starts to climb into the trees.
I don't want it to torch in the trees because then it has potential to spot over into the area that we want to remain green.
But then suddenly the wind picks up. Ashes and sparks start to fly. Some of them land on the opposite side of the road, and within seconds, flames are all around.
As hard as the firefighters tried to stop it, the fire has now jumped Highway 120 and is on the north side.
You guys backing up? You guys heading forward?
Yeah.
Okay.
The firefighters quickly wrap up their hoses and retreat back down the road as the fire roars into the treetops overhead. At least in this one battle against the rim fire, the firefighters have lost.
This year's California State Fair Commercial Wine Competition awarded 2,068 medals. That does include 52 double gold, 217 gold, 1,085 silver, and 714 bronze. 3 of those double gold prizes, as well as the award for Winery of the Year, went to Navarro Vineyards. Common Ground's Mike Carroll traveled to the coastal town of Philo, where 94 acres of vineyards produce some of the best wines California has to offer.
The vineyard in the foreground, the one down lower, is Riesling.
Ted Bennett lives and breathes wine.
I retired when I was 33, loved wine, decided I was going to spend my life making wine.
This had been a sheep ranch when Ted and his family bought it 40 years ago in the 1970s.
It's my house there. I didn't want to commute to work.
Ted wasn't interested in making wine that everybody would like.
And hopefully our wines smell better than our dog there.
He wanted to make the kind of wine that he liked.
This is all Pinot Noir.
His wine isn't aged in traditional stainless steel tanks,
The barrels are all from France,
but in specially made wooden barrels.
but the wine they produce is better.
Fresh out of college at Berkeley, he started working in a radio TV parts store that was not doing well. Ted had an idea for selling stereos.
So I convinced the owner to give me a couple of shelves in the Berkeley store. That shelf became the entire store within a year. When I left, we had 35 Pacific Stereo stores.
With the success from Pacific Stereo, Ted and his wife Deborah bought this 940-acre ranch in Mendocino County, paying for it in cash.
We'd put drain tile underneath the vineyard.
Irrigating a farm this size requires 50 million gallons of water a year, which he collects from rainwater.
This pond feeds the vineyards below us by gravity, no pumps.
Ted's loyal to the land.
Man, the land's loyal to me, huh?
And this year, the California State Fair judged Ted's wine to be some of the very best, winning 3 double gold awards, meaning the judges were unanimous in their decision, as well as the title of Best Winery in the state. Yet amazingly, for all their success, awards, recognition, Navarro wines are not available in stores, but are exclusively sold directly to customers, either at their vineyard shop or online, with no middlemen in between.
That provides enough, and the extra margin that we make by selling it direct ourselves, that basically pays for the health insurance for all of our employees.
Navarro Winery also doesn't rely on seasonal labor, but a staff of 50 full-time employees who work the vineyard year-round.
And then at some point I realized that I was patron. It was like they were working and taking care of me, and my job as patron was to take care of them. Health insurance, dental insurance, profit sharing, vacation plan, have a decent job and put the kids in school, and and the second generation on this ranch, about 80% go to college.
For Ted Bennett, the Navarro Winery is more than a vineyard, it's an idea.
We don't care to expand. We love it the way things are. We love our old customers, and we hope we can do it for a lot longer. It's just a nice formula.
An idea about life and how to live it.
We planted grapes, but there's also other things you harvest in life as well.
In Mendocino, I'm Mike Carroll for Common Ground.
For 20 years now, the Mercer Veterinary Clinic has been treating the pets of Sacramento's homeless population. But now, Common Ground's Mike Carroll shows us the volunteers at Mercer have a need, and they're putting out a call to Sacramento for help.
Once a month, between 100 and 150 of Sacramento's homeless camp out in this parking lot to reserve a place in line for their pets.
We've been coming here for 5 years, so his whole life.
Her name's Missy. Yeah, her name's Missy. She's an American Stafford Terrier.
She's got hip dysplasia and arthritis of the back, so she's getting that checked out.
Some of us live are along the river and we're far away from here, but we still manage to come here every month.
I myself used to donate food here and stuff, and then in turn I'd turn around and find myself utilizing the service, you know. So
when they did skin scrapings, they kept finding that little bug called
the pet owners have little or no money, but here they don't need it.
You know what? I'd probably have a great big huge bill with the vets, or if they'd even see me, because she was pretty sick, last year.
Treating them are first and second year students from the UC Davis Veterinary Hospital, all volunteers.
In an average weekend, we see about 125 pets.
For most of these students, this is their first hands-on medical experience.
I don't think without this place that our dogs would survive out here.
So we see about...
For the past several years, they've been working out of this old metal warehouse, which in just a few weeks is being torn down.
Nobody is paid, no veterinarians or students are paid. It's completely on donations.
And right now, donations are what they need.
We've raised about $75,000. We needed like another $75,000 to build the hospital.
They have a modular structure on site to move into, but it still needs a lot of work to make it into a functioning vet clinic with exam rooms, pharmacy, and an operating room.
We'll be able to do our spays and neuters on site.
Provides my dogs shots each year.
Two groups, pet owners and vets, both in need of some help.
My favorite part of it is to come down here and see all the people that are struggling, but yet they make sure their dogs are taken care of, you know.
She is a good girl. She's my best friend, a girlfriend.
In Sacramento, I'm Mike Carroll for Common Ground.
California Chrome was not the only four-legged star in the spotlight today. This morning, thousands of dog owners came to Land Park for the 21st annual Doggy Dash. Now, last year's event was marred by 103-degree temperatures, even hotter than today's. KCRA 3's Mike Carroll shows us the word for today's event: hydrate, hydrate, hydrate.
It's already starting to heat up a little bit, so stay hydrated.
Land Park, 5,000 people, 3,000 dogs.
This is 2 years in a row where we've gone ahead near 100 degrees.
Let's go! This was the 21st year of the Doggy Dash, sponsored by the Sacramento SPCA, with the goal of raising $230,000 to help more than 11,000 pets in need.
Luckily, they do it early in the morning where it's not really hot.
Last year alone, we had 8 dogs that suffered heat stress.
It was hot.
In fact, the event had to be ended early last year because of the heat. This year, they simplified it.
We've reduced the walk, and we've also eliminated a number of events that are fairly strenuous for the dogs here.
And everywhere you could find water bowls and pools for dogs to get a drink or dive in.
There you go, down!
As you can see right here, he loves his pools.
Sacramento dog owners have also learned to always travel prepared.
Got water. Got a water bowl.
We always have this bottle of water. I fill it up, and then on the way I look for stations or even maybe a friendly restaurant or some place where I could fill it up again and keep it full. He's really good at drinking out the water bottle.
And then after the Doggy Dash,
they jump in the pool and get in the shade.
On days like this, I try to make sure that they're indoors. So keeping them indoors until the sun goes down and the heat cools down is very important.
Good boy, Sharon. Oh, thirsty.
In Sacramento, I'm Mike Carroll, KCRA 3 News. It's harvest time, and vineyards across the region are scrambling.
Not only are they fast, but they're good about being very particular and picky about the breaks that they pick off, which is a very difficult combination.
This crew started at 6 a.m. They move fast because this is only the first of 3 vineyards they'll be working today.
Not only our vineyard, but all the vineyards. Even Napa right now has been struggling for pickers.
Part of that is due to immigration crackdowns and a shortage of guest workers. The demand means that these workers are earning top dollar. But it's also because the Northern California grape crop all ripened at the same time due to the past year's erratic weather.
Right in the beginning of winter, we had a lot of rain, a lot of snow. We thought, oh, this is going to be a great year for precipitation, but then it kind of just slowed down and came to a stop.
Nello Olivo has a small vineyard of only 10 acres. From this, he operates a boutique winery that has won 35 first-place awards since his wines went on the market in 2010.
But these are beautiful, beautiful.
This vineyard wasn't even here 12 years ago when Nello Olivo first started planting it, when he was 61.
Come on, I'm 73 right now, and that's why I started making wine, because I figured, you know, I'm getting closer to the old hi-ho, you know, I got to start talking to this big guy up there, and I said, how do you get to know a guy like that? You got to find out a soft spot, you know, and I know it's wine, you know, right? It's always been. These are firm.
Nello and his vineyard manager, Lance Johnson, are constantly keeping an eye on the growth in the vineyard.
Probably every 3 days, we're out here sampling grapes.
Nello Olivo is always praying for good weather.
But you can't calculate what he's going to do. You know, he can just pull a punch on you.
Then, just 2 days before they were ready to start picking grapes, unseasonal rain.
So we had to go through the entire vineyard and hand blow it. Bunch rot.
That's what happens when it rains and the moisture gets caught inside the grape. It's no good.
Fortunately, those were the only bad grapes of the day. This grape picking crew works hard and fast, working only a few hours in each vineyard at a time.
And we're probably going to pick the Barbera Manana.
How many rows?
What do you think? Well, I think there's only like maybe 4 tons maximum.
Our pickers have already run all the way because they have to go to another job after our vineyard, and then they got another one after that.
In just a few hours, they've picked 5 acres, 6 tons of white grapes that will produce 250 cases of wine.
So far, so good. We've been very lucky that we're able to get all our grapes on time, and this year I think it's going to be one of our best years ever.
In Cameron Park, I'm Mike Carroll for Common Ground.